Welcome to Life in Biology. I'm Dr. Joel Graff. This is episode number 8. Today we're going to be talking about new models for teaching science. I'm hoping to do a lot more science teaching in the future, so I've been digging into different methods that have been proposed for better ways of teaching. So if you're like me, when you went to school, you had a textbook that you were to read, and you went to class, and the teacher gave lectures. You're supposed to read the textbook ahead of time, but who does that? You might cram right before the test, and that was pretty much the standard. Every single class I took, that's what it was. Read a textbook. The syllabus lets you know which pages you should probably be reading, and then go to class and listen and write down notes the whole time. So that's what I'm used to. But I just ran across this study yesterday. It was in an issue in Cell from August. This is a fairly well-respected journal, so that's why I decided to go ahead and discuss it, even though it's just one study, and you need to do lots of studies before you can say something is or isn't true. But I'll just show you the trends that were picked up in this study, and I think you might find it interesting. So for this study, the study design was that before class, students were given an assignment, and then during class, students did things. So before class, the assignments were either watch a video that covered the topic for the day, or read a textbook which covered the exact same material as the video. And then during class, students got the typical lecture, or were given lectures that were interspersed with problem solving throughout the lecture. So you had to stop, pay attention, think things through, answer questions, that sort of thing. So by having 2 different options before class and 2 options during class, that gives you 4 different categories that you could fall into. In this study, they had 111 students that agreed to be in the study. And what was important about this is they were randomly assigned to each section. They didn't get to choose what they thought would be the best method of teaching. So students in section 1 got the lecture and the textbook. So that's what I was used to getting, and I'm sure you were too. And then you can see group 2 was this, group 3 was this, and group 4 was this. If you do happen to read the study, which I'll have a link in the show notes to this study, they number it 1, 2, 3, 4 in the figure where they're explaining the study design, but really all the text has it, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So just a little caveat: if you read that paper, there is a mistake. So what'd they find? Well, the first thing they wanted to know is, if you give a different assignment before class, what's the chances that the student will show up to class? So if you're given a video before class or a textbook before class, well, if you're given a video before class, they had on average about 1 in 6 students not make it to class. And if you give a textbook assignment before class, they actually had it bump up to 1 in 3 students miss class. So videos led to students maybe becoming more interested in the topic and wanting to attend class more. So video better than the method I learned from. And then they wanted to know about scores. So when they looked at what they did is, at the end of each class period, they would do 20-minute multiple choice scores. Every single class period they'd do this, and then they would get the typical score from students. And as you go from group 1 to group 2 to group 3 to group 4, the scores steadily increased. And really the big thing for scores was that if you if during class students were asked to solve problems, they had a huge jump in their scores compared to students that were given a lecture where when they got to the problem, the teacher just told them the answer right away and didn't even ask any questions. So if you want to the students to learn things, problem solving's good. If you want students to be interested, videos are good. So we're kind of closing in on this number 4 being a pretty good idea for how you should set up a class. Because this class was taught by the exact same teacher covering the exact same material for all the different groups, they wondered whether there was bias. Maybe the teacher was more excited doing one method or another, and so then they would learn better. But what they found is that satisfaction in the whole class was much higher for students that took the video instead of the text. So satisfaction was much better here, but for lecture versus problem solving, what they actually did in class, they had equal satisfaction between those groups. So you get more satisfaction, higher scores, and higher attendance with number 4. So that's the study that I think is so interesting, and I'm hoping to do more teaching in the future, so I'm going to give that a shot. I'm going to try videos ahead of time. That's why I'm doing this, and I'm going to try to mix problem solving into my lectures. Thanks for watching.